John had always loved the woods. The quiet rustle of leaves, the earthy scent of damp soil, and the gentle whisper of wind through the trees had always brought him a sense of calm. But today, something felt different. The forest seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for him to uncover a secret. He had wandered farther than usual, drawn by an urge he couldn't quite understand. The sun was low, casting long shadows that danced eerily across the forest floor. He knew he should turn back, but something compelled him forward. As he pushed through a thick cluster of trees, he froze, his breath catching in his throat. There, in the middle of the dense forest, stood a staircase. It rose from the ground, ancient and covered with moss, leading upward toward nothing but empty air. No building, no structure, just stairs, as if someone had started building and then simply forgotten to finish. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. John stared, his heart pounding. He rubbed his eyes, wondering if exhaustion was playing tricks on him. But the staircase remained, solid and real. Curiosity tugged at him, pulling him closer. He stepped forward cautiously, his boots crunching softly on fallen leaves. The stairs were made of stone, worn smooth by time and weather. Moss covered the edges, and vines twisted around the railing. It felt as if the staircase had been here forever, hidden from the world. John hesitated, glancing around. The forest was silent, watching him. He took a deep breath and placed his foot on the first step. A strange sensation washed over him, a mix of excitement and unease. He climbed slowly, each step creaking slightly beneath his weight. The higher he climbed, the stronger the feeling grew that he was entering a place he wasn't meant to see. At the top, John stopped, his eyes widening in disbelief. There, nestled among lush greenery and blooming wildflowers, stood a small cottage. Smoke curled gently from the chimney, and soft piano music drifted through the air. Warm yellow light spilled from the windows, inviting and comforting. John felt as though he'd stepped into a dream. How could this place exist, hidden here in the middle of nowhere? Before he could move, the cottage door swung open, and an elderly man stepped out. He had a kind face, lined with age, and eyes that sparkled with warmth and wisdom. "Welcome," the old man said, smiling gently. "I've been expecting you." John blinked, unsure how to respond. "Expecting me?" the man nodded. "My name is Samuel. I'm the guardian of this forest. Please, come inside." John hesitated, but something in Samuel's eyes reassured him. He followed the old man into the cottage. Inside, the cottage was cozy and inviting. A fire crackled in the hearth, casting flickering shadows on the walls. Shelves lined with books filled the room, and the scent of tea lingered in the air. Samuel gestured toward a chair, and John sat down, feeling strangely at ease. Samuel poured tea into 2 cups, handing one to John. "Drink," he said softly. "It will calm your nerves." John took a sip, the warmth spreading through him. "How is this place possible?" he asked finally. "I've walked this forest for years. I've never seen anything like this." Samuel smiled knowingly. "The stairs only appear to those who truly need guidance. They brought you here because you have questions, doubts, fears. Tell me, John, what troubles you?" John hesitated, staring into his cup. He hadn't realized how heavy his burdens had become until now. "I feel lost," he admitted quietly. "My life feels empty, meaningless. I don't know where I'm going or why." Samuel nodded gently. "Many people feel this way, but you are brave enough to admit it. That's why the stairs chose you." They spoke for hours, the conversation flowing effortlessly. Samuel shared stories of the forest, of nature's wisdom, and of life's mysteries. John felt his burdens lifting, replaced by a newfound sense of clarity and purpose. As night fell, Samuel stood and walked to a small wooden box on the mantel. He opened it and took out a carved wooden amulet, handing it to John. "Keep this with you always," Samuel said. "It will protect you on your journey and guide you back here if you ever need refuge." John held the amulet tightly, feeling its warmth in his palm. "Thank you," he whispered. Samuel smiled warmly. "Remember, John, the answers you seek are often hidden in the most unexpected places. Trust yourself and trust the path ahead." When John stepped back outside, the moon had risen, bathing the forest in silver light. He turned to thank Samuel one last time, but the cottage was gone. Only the staircase remained, descending back into the familiar darkness of the forest. John climbed down slowly, his mind racing. Had he imagined it all? But the amulet in his hand was real, solid proof of the strange encounter. Days passed, and John returned to his normal life, but he carried the amulet with him, a constant reminder of the magical evening in the woods. Weeks turned into months, and life moved forward. Yet John felt different. He saw the world through new eyes, noticing beauty and meaning he'd overlooked before. The emptiness inside him had faded, replaced by a quiet strength and peace. Then, one evening, while walking home from work, John felt an odd pull. He reached into his pocket, touching the amulet. It felt warm, alive. He glanced around, realizing he'd wandered to the edge of the forest. Without thinking, he stepped forward, drawn deeper into the trees. His heart quickened as he recognized the familiar path. Soon, he stood again before the staircase, bathed in moonlight. He climbed eagerly, his steps quickening. At the top, the cottage stood exactly as he'd remembered, smoke drifting from the chimney, piano music floating softly through the air. Samuel stood in the doorway, smiling warmly. "Welcome back, John." John felt tears sting his eyes. "I wasn't sure I'd find this place again." Samuel nodded gently. "The stairs always lead you home, as long as you carry the amulet. Come inside." They sat by the fire, talking late into the night. John shared how his life had changed, how he'd found purpose and happiness. Samuel listened, his eyes twinkling with pride. "You found your own way, John. The stairs merely showed you the path. Your journey has just begun." As dawn broke, John stood to leave, his heart full. "Will I see you again?" Samuel smiled gently. "Whenever you need me, I'll be here." John descended the staircase slowly, savoring each step. When he reached the bottom, he turned back one last time. The stairs had vanished, leaving only the quiet forest behind. John smiled softly, clutching the amulet. He knew now that the magic he'd found wasn't just in the cottage or the staircase, it was within himself. He walked back through the woods, feeling lighter than he'd ever felt before. From that day forward, John lived his life with intention, guided by the wisdom he'd discovered. He faced challenges bravely, knowing he was never truly alone, and whenever life grew difficult, he'd touch the amulet and remember the staircase in the woods, the magical place that had changed him forever. He knew, deep in his heart, that sometimes the most extraordinary discoveries truly were found in the most unexpected places.